Hi everyone, my name is Emilio Velasquez and I'm joined alongside Karina, Margot, and Mark. And today we'll be presenting you about our business venture, Skope. So you might be asking yourself, what exactly is Skope? In order to give you a detailed background of our company, we have to start from the beginning. So do any of you know what sports such as soccer, basketball, football, and wrestling all have in common? Well, they all have their own respective sports shoe. With that being said, did you know the fastest growing sport in the world currently does not even have their own respective shoe? That's until now. I'm extremely excited to announce to you and introduce to you the first ever shoe designed specifically for the esports community. These are extremely high quality sneakers that will be released in limited quantities. When designing these shoes, we had the esports community in mind. We thought about the needs and pain points in which esports members would possibly experience. Furthermore, to further our commitment and dedication to the esports community, we will be partnering up with some of the most prolific streamers in the gaming community by creating their own signature shoe lines, similar to what Nike has done with Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant. Our team wanted to put together a matrix that allows us to display who we believe are the key competitors in relationship to Skope. On the y-axis, we have luxury, and on the x-axis, we have gaming relevance. As you can see, we have positioned Skope to be a luxury brand with extreme gaming relevance. Our key competitors are, of course, Nike and Adidas, given their capital and experience, but we believe their focus is more towards athletic footwear because currently none of their products are specifically targeted towards the esports community. Our marketing strategy is based on our relationship with prolific streamers as well as YouTube product reviewers. We will be working closely with streamers to enter an endorsement agreement in which we will provide a shoe and a form of payment to them to review, wear, and positively promote our product to the esports community. We will feature the posts on social media sites such as Instagram and streaming services such as Twitch. Now that you know a little bit more about Skope and our brand, I'm going to pass it off to Margot and she's going to talk to you a little bit more about our company's legal components.
Thanks, Emilio. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit and get into the legal components of Skope. We've decided that the best form of organization for Skope is a corporation. Some of the key advantages we considered is the fact that shareholders would have limited liability. They would only be liable for the amount of their investment, which makes our company more attractive for investors. Additionally, personal assets would be protected as well through the corporate veil, assuming that owners aren't commingling assets and the veil doesn't have to be pierced. As a startup, a corporation is attractive because it provides the best opportunities to raise significant amounts of capital through issuing stocks and bonds. And lastly, as a corporation, Skope would have the most longevity. Even if owners pass or resign, Skope can easily be transferred into new ownership and will live on. And now I'm going to pass it off to Mark to speak in more detail about some of the legal components of Skope.
Thanks, Margot. We decided to headquarters Skope in the United States and specifically Los Angeles, California. We first decided on the United States because it had the second largest esport market in the world, valued at $35 billion US. While China does have the largest market, they have an extremely complex regulation system when it comes to gaming, which includes censorship. We didn't necessarily want to have that brand association. Once we decided on the United States, we specifically chose Los Angeles because some consider it the esport capital of America. This is partially due to the fact that 234 esport companies have their headquarters within the area. Additionally, the Staples Center has many esport competitions held. That's also where the Los Angeles Kings, Los Angeles Lakers, and the Los Angeles Clippers play. And Esports Stadiums, the brand, has 2 locations in California, which is the most of any state or country. Now, in order to be successful, our team recognizes that we'll need to grow. Part of the success involves hiring a CEO and a CFO to lead our team. Our team realizes that in order to forge key partnerships in the space with key influencers such as a ninja personality, an experienced official would need to lead our company. In order to protect our interests, we'll want to classify our future CEO as an employee. Further, as a startup, to attract top talent, our team recognizes that we'll have to hand over equity, especially if we want them here for the long term. Our team has planned for this and has only taken roughly 21% equity interest for each of us in the founders agreement to leave room for future allocation. However, if more equity is needed, it will equally come out of each of our shares as alluded to in the founders agreement. The same logic applies for the CFO, since none of us have the actual experience to have an accounting background to handle the books of a large company or even a public company. Future gaming partnerships will require partnership agreements on certain products as well. Past examples in the marketplace include sneaker deals within the sports world, such as Stephen Curry and Under Armour or LeBron James and Nike. In order to incentivize both parties to market the product, we'll want to split equity to make the pie greater as sales increase. However, we'll want to have a baseline fixed revenue generation to have both parties at the table. That split will be determined, however, the actual split will be determined on a per partnership basis. For example, we wouldn't give Ninja the same revenue share as we would a lesser known influencer. Lastly, IP protection is also an important aspect of this. IP protection is only recognized in the United States if you can determine and demonstrate that your team is taking action to prevent IP being stolen. Thus, when we get big, we'll have to bring on an IP protection team to demonstrate we are serious in taking measures to protect the brand. We want those folks to be salaried and considered employees. Talking more about IP, I'm going to hand it back over to Margot to speak further.
Thanks, Mark. As a startup, having the proper IP protection is a key component of establishing our business. We've identified 3 key types of IP that will be crucial to obtain upfront. First, we will need a trademark for the Skope name and logo, and slogan if we decide to implement one. Next, we will need design patents for the ornamental elements of our shoes. For example, our logo placement on the toe, our design and curvature of the sole, and other elements that will be present in future shoes. Additionally, we'll need trademarks for specific names of each shoe we create. For example, our first model that we plan to launch will be called Skope Sharpshooter 1.0, and we intend to protect that name through a trademark, and will do the same with other future products. Another form of IP that we considered, but ultimately didn't feel was necessary in our current position, was a utility patent. Utility patents cover functional elements of the shoe. However, we didn't want to enter muddy waters of false marketing, given that our shoe isn't actually intended to enhance the performance of esports players and gamers. On that note, I'll pass it off to Karina to speak a little bit more about potential product liabilities.
Thanks, Margot. So we believe that Skope would face very little product liability exposure. We will inform consumers that our shoes are sold as is, thus avoiding any implied warranty claims. Other product liability claims could arise for 3 possible reasons. First, due to design defects, which are flaws built into the design of the shoe. We will avoid this exposure by ensuring that all shoe designs fit all safety standards, and no part of the shoe would be defective. Another avenue is manufacturing defects, when the shoes are properly designed, but there is a mistake during the manufacturing of the shoe. We will use a top-quality supplier, which we'll explain in more detail in a bit, and will conduct regular inspections of the finished products to limit this exposure. Finally, marketing defects happen when false claims are made about the shoe, or there is not enough information provided for the user to safely use the shoe. As Margot talked about, our shoes are not designed to be performance-enhancing in any way. They're more fashion shoes, and therefore there are no claims to be made. Additionally, we will be sure to provide all information to consumers and to appropriately vet all marketing material. To dive deeper into the supply chain, we will need a top-quality supplier to manufacture our shoes. To save on costs, we decided to outsource this aspect to a company in China, to Xiamen Go Wisdom Import and Export Company. We will enter into a sale of goods agreement each time we release new shoes, because we anticipate releasing only limited quantities, so a case-by-case agreement seems best. Go Wisdom has been audited and verified by the most recognized world-leading certification and inspection firm, Bureau Veritas, so we have great faith in the quality of the product and the quality of the supplier. However, we will also conduct an independent annual inspection to ensure Go Wisdom maintains fair labor practices and safe working conditions. Once the shoes are manufactured, Skope will cover the shipping of the goods to the United States. The finished shoes will be stored in our storage facility located in California. Our shoes will be sold directly to our consumers via e-commerce, and once the shoes are purchased, our team will fulfill the orders and ship the goods to our consumers. Finally, we have identified a few other legal considerations for our business. including designer and partnership agreements, marketing agreements, and consumer liability. Our goal is to partner with top gamers in the industry to co-design the shoes. We will have to make sure our contracts are thorough and properly written, ensuring that any endorsements are discussed and properly disclosed. Additionally, we will request that all intellectual property regarding the shoe and the design process is assigned to Skope. We will also request that our partners maintain exclusivity within the category, meaning we are the only shoe brand they partner with, though they are free to seek out partnerships in other categories, such as computer equipment. We also have to have strong marketing agreements. As previously mentioned, we will utilize platforms such as YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch to promote our products. We will make sure that all marketing partners and influencers are trained on proper disclosure guidelines as required by the Federal Trade Commission. We will make clear our expectations that all promoters will uphold a good personal reputation and represent our brand positively. Finally, regarding consumer liability, we will sell the product as is and have the consumer agree to our terms and conditions when purchasing the product. This will include an agreement for arbitration in California should any dispute arise and other necessary disclosures. With that, we thank you for your time and hope you consider Skope for your next investment. We will now take any questions.